Hello, people. Welcome back to another episode of Kit Season. It was supposed to be Brett that does the intro, but
Sorry.
he forgot he has a job.
Yes. Yeah. Welcome back. I not caught off guard. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 apparently was not enough indication. But yeah, welcome back. We have another amazing episode for you guys here tonight. We have a fun little interview tonight as well. Should be a good episode. I'm pretty excited to welcome Diaza. I'm hoping I'm saying that. I should have asked that sooner. Um, but should be in for a fun episode. Lots of support here already from people in the comments. So I think we should probably Taylor. I think you got the next thing right.
Yeah, okay. A couple things for us before we get into talking to Diego Hurtado, which we will get to very soon. I want to go ahead and thank John Hunt, Frank Anthony, Aaron J, Christopher Cohn, Harry Austin, John Fuller, Michael Fuchs, Joshua Duder, Noah Telford. Thank you so much for being wonderful patrons. And while we're talking about kits, we want to go ahead and shout out the new kit season kit. This is the splatter kit. It is all the rave for the biggest league in the world. Hey, shout out to the biggest league in the world for like joining the US Open Cup, but that's a different show. We're not here for that, Kaylor. We would rather talk about fashion, which is why we are here to plug a little bit of the kit season kit. And also just super fun stuff. 100% of the proceeds, like all of our kits, go to charity. So, like 100%, we don't keep any of it. So, please help us out. We're helping out Backyard Footy. Check out the kit, buy the kit. They even do the cool like pay in four. So if you're like me who feels like that's actually cheaper, even though it's totally not, like it's for you.
It's different. It's different. It's the same, but it's different.
It's so different, yeah.
Yeah.
And before we get to Diego from Diaza, I want to just go ahead and I feel like I've asked everybody at this point, so now I'm just going to just kind of throw it out there into the ether. I want you to imagine, close your eyes, that you have a child, and some of you say, "Oh my goodness, I do have a child," and with that child, they walk up to you and say, "Hey, parental figure,
Papa.
mom or dad, I want to be a goalkeeper," and you say, well,
Ugh.
child, you're like 20 years old now. It's a little late, don't you think? And they say no, because I actually know about this group called Prime Focus Goalkeeping, where they accept people of any age and
Oh
ability
man.
level to get coaching. Okay.
So
And
there's hope for me
there's hope for you.
at
And
32.
Brett and me, there's no hope for me. But that's beyond the point. They do all the good stuff. They have some of the best coaching. He says the Carolinas, I'm going to say it, the Southeast
North
and
America.
North America, even. Um, champion of the biggest league in the world, the USL, Brandon Miller, his organization. It's his stuff. And if you're like, dude, I don't need coaching, I'm the best. Well, why don't you wear the best? The gloves are honestly fantastic. I said it before. I don't catch anything. I can't catch anything. I was catching stuff. So check out Prime Focus Goalkeeping. Support a local USL legend. Super excited. And this was the same segue as last time, but I'm not original. Who gets to wear the best kits ever? The goalkeepers, obviously. And speaking
That's
of kits, Diego Hurtado from
Yeah.
Diaza. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey guys, thank you. Good. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys tonight.
Absolutely, man. I want to go ahead just open up the question just real fast of what is Diaza football clothing?
What you mean? Like, what's the Diaza word? Like, what does it mean?
I mean, like, what about the brand? Like, what all do you do? Because it's not just the kits. Like,
Yeah.
it is a whole fashion line, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, no. Obviously, I started the brand, back in the day, like 5 years ago, and we were called first Jinga. Okay, that was a terminology for it was a Brazilian word. What it means, like, it was like jogo bonito, like like the Ronaldinho stuff and the Zico, Pele. It was like a skillful, beautiful thing that you could dribble the ball and all that, and it made sense for me because Jinga, I love that word. I used to love it, and I started the brand as Jinga, but as I started getting more serious, I trademarked the word and the logo, and there was like 100 Jingas from Brazil and all over the place. So I have to redo the branding, and the logo could still the same, but I turn it to a D. So and then I start looking for words because I thought about it, right? Like I'm not from Brazil. Why am I using a Brazilian word, right? So I look into my roots and to the Colombian roots because I'm Colombian,
Nice.
and there was this word that it means like if from the tribes, it means like you have to be disciplined to be a leader. You have to have discipline. You got to be strong. You got to hard work, have this mentality. And the words like you have to have Diaza to be this leader, to do all this kind of stuff. So to me that was the perfect word. To me it was like because in soccer it's kind of the same thing, right? You gotta, if you want to be a professional soccer, or you want to pursue this career, like you need a lot of discipline, hard work, mentality, stay focused. And that's exactly the message that we from the get-go we started creating, and we create this whole movement, Diaza mentality, the champions brand that we now, it becomes more than just jerseys, right? Because I guess that's how we started it, as a like a jersey, customized and all this kind of stuff. But with the time, it's like the past 2 years it became like a whole brand, right? Like it became like a serious brand, where now we do the whole apparel for any team, professional teams. We do tracksuits, training gear, bags, even now soccer balls. Like it has become something more than just like a jersey brand, right? It's a total like customizable soccer brand.
Yeah, that's awesome. And as you kind of alluded to, you're more than just a soccer. I'm looking at some of the leagues you do. It's a Jai Alai League.
Oh yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah. I don't even know how to pronounce the word, to be honest. We call it hayalai, right? And is this sport that is this I don't even know where this sport is from, to be honest, but they playing it in Miami in a casino, like very it's like how do you say all that? Like like you just throw a ball to the wall and he bounces back and
I know this. It looks like
It
a
looks
giant
crazy.
lacrosse. Looks like
yeah,
a
yeah,
giant
yeah, yeah.
lacrosse thing. I know
Uh-huh.
exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. So and well, so the thing about this was that the owner of the casino, we got connected, and then we talked to them, and they're like, oh yeah, we're looking for some for jerseys, and they're like, oh, we might be able to do some customized jersey for you guys, and we do the whole collection for them. I think it's in the page before that one, and it was like, oh, like design, everything like that. We even put like like these jackets and even compression, and like they went all the way. They wanted to do the whole catalog with us, so we decided to do it with them, and they had some famous people playing in these things, like NBA retired players, UFC fighters, and the designs are good, and I think my team did a really good job. I like that red one. That red one is nice. And then yeah, I think it has become huge, and they love it, man. And they sell a lot of jerseys in the casino. They do ask for a lot.
That's
Guess I gotta
awesome.
visit that casino now. I guess I don't know. I gotta see this. It looked
The-
crazy from the little 2 minute clip that I saw.
Yeah,
Um,
that sport's crazy. Like it comes up on my reels constantly, and I'm just like, what is this thing? So
yeah. It's a fast pace. It's like that ball goes to like 150 mile per hour. Is crazy. I don't even know how they do it, but we saw it, right, and obviously we saw the business perspective, but then we put that Diaza mentality, right? The design, we brought something different that they were not using before. They love it, and they actually redo the whole jerseys for this. Is a new season coming up, so there's gonna be a whole, like, they changed the whole design and everything. So it's pretty
yeah,
cool. The league is pretty cool.
that's awesome. So then my first question. I'm gonna actually ask a question yet. So using what how you guys are partnered with this entire league, how do you take that like that obviously that's a massive kind of undertaking in the sense, right? How do you kind of use that to kind of like push that to teams to like promote yourself to like I'll say, hey, I'm partnering with this this league and doing all this like equipment for them. How do you then like use that to go like to like a soccer team like obviously I'm wearing right now AFC Ann Arbor, so like how does you know well wait how did you get that too, so like kind of that process, you know what I mean?
How can we utilize that? Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I think it's important to understand that when you partner up with leagues is huge, right? Because you're not only getting one team, you're getting a bunch of teams, and even though, right, we have this other sport. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's called quad ball, right? And it's this Harry Potter game. Trust me, guys. I don't even know. They have a stick in the legs, and they actually throw the ball in the three, like the circle, like they throw it in the.
It's
It's a
Quidditch.
whole league. It's called quad ball,
Yeah.
and the whole league. We signed the whole league for 3 years, and they have this bunch, all these teams, and we create the whole gear for them. Like the jackets, like the obviously they come for the for the jerseys and all that, and we create all these aspects for this league, and this league has a massive following. They even have scholarships in some colleges here in the U.S. And like you get to find out these things that you don't even know about, and it's funny because even though sometimes it's not related to soccer, definitely you see how organized they are. Like they very organized. When they come to us, it was like you had to do a bid, and it was a proposal, and it was a business plan, and then you had to tell them, hey, can you deliver? Can you deliver before the 3 weeks? This that can you deliver for the whole league? And it's just like and they start, and they also they like to do their own designs as well. So that's something that we do as well. We partnered up with the league's design, design team, and then we create both of us, right? Like we combine, and then we we go from there. But they're pretty cool, man. They're pretty nice, and they have a lot of following. To be honest.
That's the one we're looking at right now. That Forge, that's sick.
I might
And
need
can we
that.
talk about this? Can you highlight that 4000 right there? $40 for a kit. That's how do you make that possible?
Well, these obviously it's just massive, right? Like this is a lot of stock. They buy in bulk. They have a whole league, so they want to
Right.
supply for the whole fan base, and they do have a niche. Like they're very whoever is following this league, the players and their friends and all that, they're very passionate about this, and they will tell you like, hey, we're gonna sell 2,000 jerseys, and it was no joke. They do sell that much, right? So. So we when obviously you buy in bulk and everything, that's when you can start playing with the lower prices a little bit more.
Yeah, that's nice. Because I mean, I feel like that's something we speak about a lot is cost efficiency for the fan, and $40, and I saw it cost a little bit extra to get your name and number and stuff like that. But like I'm looking at my USL team, and they're like, here's the price, and here's $30 to put a name on it and stuff like that. It's just you're at like I could buy a whole kit from you for the price to just get my name on the back, get my favorite player on the back. So like I don't know if I was a new team, a USL 2 team, USL 1 team, even championship team, like I would be coming to a company like you because obviously you're organized. Obviously you have the equipment as well. You're not just
Tips.
a supplement jersey maker or whatever. You're making everything that goes with it.
Yeah, I think that aspect we kind of understand the market, right? Like you need to have these jerseys that are affordable for people, and that are because some of the jerseys you can only like sublimate, right? Like no 3D logos, nothing like that, right? But there's some of the jerseys that we make for, let's say, for the competitive, for the people, for the pro players that have a lot of details, that has silicone logos, mesh on the size, like a nice color, double color. I mean, you could, the one that he's wearing the NRV, is a 3D logo. And, like we kind of designed these jerseys for the pro players, for the, bigger leagues. And you can pick and choose, right? Like obviously if you want this jersey, it's not going to cost $40. It's going to, cost a little bit more. But then we give two options, right? Only the sublimated ones, and then the ones with all the details, like authentic jersey from Diaza, it will be a little more expensive. But but I think it has played out good because some people like, the ones with the 3D logo and everything, and some other people just like, sublimate it very easy to go and affordable, so that's something that we detect, and we started attacking both markets.
Love that. And one of the things that I've also noticed here as we go through, like obviously this entire league, one of the things that we also like to harp on is templates. I don't think I've seen a template really at this point. I mean, I've seen some like your like t-shirts and stuff, whatever. That's t-shirts, but like in your like jerseys and kits, I don't see a template. Like, I love that, and like, is that like a focus from Diaza to like be specific for every team?
Exactly. Okay, so that's how we started it, and it's sustainable to a certain point, right? Because obviously,
Mm-hmm.
when you have so many teams created, like especially one jersey for training, one jersey for this, is it kind of become very tough to do.
Yeah,
So what we decided is obviously whoever wants this service is some extra work that we will have to do, right? And then they will have to be serious about it because we not only do the jerseys, right? Like we work a lot with marketing services, social media services. If you guys will follow us on, especially we're not that big in Twitter, but I consider myself pretty big on Instagram and where you can see more like like the jerseys and stuff like that. And I think in Instagram we have a lot of following, and the work that we have put in there is for the teams, right? So if you
yeah,
bring the team, like I'm not only just gonna build you a jersey or whatever, right? I want you to look good, right? Like I want brand awareness for both of us, and I think that's the message that we got out there. And sometimes creating different kits for everybody, it works that way. But now that we have so many teams, what we started to do is trying to do some kind of templates, but with some differentiations. Like we just we. I mean, to be honest, in Diaza we don't like catalogs, right? Like where you have like five templates and hey, pick from here and then that's it. Here you
love
go,
that,
blah
love
blah.
that.
Put the logo and then see you later, right? Like we don't work that way. We don't want to work that way, right? We want to
You're
be
different.
feel every team to be special, and obviously now that we're in the big leagues and USL, that's exactly what we want them to treat it like professionals.
Yeah, which is, yeah,
I would like to jump in real quick, and this was something that Damon put in. Like you guys did the Banditos jersey last year, and obviously supporters groups are their own kind of thing. They're their own kind of, I don't want to say monster because they're not. They are the lifeblood of everything. Especially in the U.S., right? But you're having to figure out a way to create the brand that literally fans want. These are the fans thing, while also trying to keep the identity of the club that they support. And obviously they'll come to you with ideas, but how do you balance two brands at the same time?
That's a good question. It is pretty tough. I think with Bandidos, it wasn't as hard as we also have a partnership with South Legion, which is from the Inter Miami. And it's been a little bit difficult with them, obviously, for the MLS and all that stuff. With Bandidos, it was pretty easy because they actually had another brand that was called Bandidos Clothing, I think. Is right there where the Diaza logo was supposed to go, and we did like a partnership because obviously we know the guy, Zach. I don't think he's there anymore, but he wanted to create his own, line for the jerseys and all that. The turnaround time was killing him with his other factory or whoever he was working with. So we told him like, hey, we could put it online. You don't have to buy in bulk. We just have it in here and there. And then, but he was very close with the owner. I guess with the owners or whoever make the image decisions, and he got permission from them to use part of the logo and all that kind of stuff. Right? We always ask for that because we don't want to mix up things. Right? Like we don't want to put the Phoenix logo because we don't have the rights for it. We don't have the licensing, right? And we work with that. Like we don't do replicas, we don't do none of that stuff that we have a contract with the team. So it was kind of difficult at the beginning, but then we kind of twisted it, give it their own touch, and then we went from there. And the South Legion was even more tough because I guess somebody JC is the name of the guy, the owner of the South Legion, right? He's a huge name in the fans community in Miami, and he was wearing Diaza on one of the meetings with the owners, and they start asking questions like, "What is that? You know, who is that? Blah blah blah." But they have their own logo, and they go like, "That's pretty dope. The jacket that you have is really cool." And he's like, "Oh yeah," He started explaining, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, but we wear Adidas, blah blah blah." He was in the headquarters wearing Diaza, so in trouble. I was like, "Man, bro." It's like, yeah, I guess and he went to tour with them and right now in China and all that, and he was all wearing Diaza. That's it. But the good thing is that South Legion, they have their own logo, right? So we're not putting Inter Miami. We're just working with the fans, right? With the South Legion, and I think it's pretty cool to do that. Every I seen a lot of fans, a lot of hardcore fans that like to create their own customized stuff, and it's great. In South America, you don't really see that too much. They just wear the jersey for the team.
I was going to ask, for your purposes, obviously seeing the club itself wear the jersey is the goal, right? But
Yeah.
last year, when Phoenix Rising won it all, like half of the people in the stands were wearing Phoenix gear, the other half were wearing this Banditos jersey. Seeing your design being used in promos for like the championship winners, was that kind of a cool moment for you?
Yeah, I mean it's always cool, right? Because obviously we aspire to be in that level. We aspire to be in these finals. We aspire to be there in the field. That's one of the things that we work so hard for. And I mean we're not far from it, right? So but seeing it in the fans and people liking the product, right? Because the good comments that we also have, the it's not just the design. It's about to me quality is very important, right? Like if you don't have a good quality, a good product, it will be very tough because you're competing with Adidas and these older brands that no matter that how plain the jersey is, the quality is there, right? Like we can never deny that. I would never come here and say, oh, Nike sucks, right? Because Nike to me is the god, and that's just the truth. But obviously there's a lot of space in the market, and I feel we have created a niche that is very different from these older brands. I don't like to call them big brands, but older brands, because we're gonna be big enough as well. So
Big as a
yeah,
mentality.
exactly. So yeah, these older brands obviously been in the game for years, have millions of dollars, backing up the projects. So it's a different thing, but with the sources that we have and obviously everything that we've been building, I think the quality is a great product. It seems different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
kind of a little segue. Obviously, Phoenix Rising. Those fans were wearing those kits, and kind of promoting your kits. Another really kind of, I think, a thing that we want to highlight was, I think last year Ronaldinho had kind of worn a Diaza kit. Do you want to
kind of.
kind of talk about how that's kind of a big deal?
Pretty big deal.
Right.
No, it was oh man, that was fantastic. That was I think that was one of my proudest moments, with the brand and with the work that we've been doing. It was such a cool moment, him, a legend, man, wearing the Diaza brand, playing with the Diaza balls and in a stadium, full of Diaza promotion. It was just like I was surreal, right? Like you I couldn't believe it when I was there. I was like, wow. So but then you got to turn the page, right? Because you gotta believe it. Yes, you were there. You were there. Now it's time to do business. Right now, you get these calls. You people are like taking you more serious. People are like, hey, I see you making moves. Like, hey, come here, work with us. Hey, do this, do that. And it was huge for us, to be honest. The ROI and everything after this event is been just amazing, and not just Ronaldinho. It was Beron. This kid that you see in the picture this kid is huge in South America, like he's a singer, reggaeton and all these Latin songs, and he's just extremely huge in Latin America. So we also have a lot of partners in Colombia, Ecuador, Argentina. and it's just like growing and growing in that side of the world as well. So it's just been amazing, man. To be honest, having Ronaldinho wearing it was all worth it. The hard work, and we had to put the deal in like that's the other thing, that the deal landed in like 20 days. They told me you got 20 days to put this deal together.
Oh man.
I was like, wait, what? And like, yeah, we have 20 deals. We have all their brands in the table. It was Puma, Nike, and then they showed me the jerseys, and it was plain jerseys, just put in the logo. And then I was like, no, you know what? Let me get you a proposal today. So I started with my head of design. We started very late night, and we did these cool designs. And Ronaldinho's jersey, he has a song. He just released a song, like he's singing. I don't know, from Brazil, right? So I did the barcode, like I put it in the QR code, and I put it in the jersey. So I put it there. I did the design, and then I sent it to them. And I was like, hey, scan the code, and it's gonna be Ronaldinho singing. So man, they went like that. That we got them there, and then the other jersey, the blue one, is the city from this kid. He's huge in the city in Colombia called Medellin, and that right there, that design is the whole Medellin view, right? So if you really looked at it, and then we told him, listen, this is the city where you're from, and this guy is like extremely passionate about his city. So we got both, and they're like, now we go with Diaza. So that's how we got the deal. And then to produce it, we have only like 15 days to produce it, 20 days basically. And I had to talk to my factory and just rush things up and everything like that. So it was pretty tough to get it, but we pulled it off. And we did tracksuit jackets, warm-up jackets, socks, everything like that. This guy,
Wow.
yeah, we did everything for them.
Had the full
Hey,
kit.
well, it looks good.
It was pretty nice, man. It was pretty cool. I was there, right there, next to Ronaldinho the whole time. It was just amazing, man. It was pretty nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you kind of alluded to, you're obviously leveraging this massive moment here, right? And I've seen, especially with Phoenix Rising again, and also I'm wearing AFC Ann Arbor, and you're trying to, I'm guessing, branch more into the U.S. market. You want to kind of elaborate a little bit further on that, in like the whole U.S. market here a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I'm from obviously, Colombia, South America, but we are a U.S. brand, right? Like no matter what, no matter where I'm from, I don't see colors. I don't see I mean, I don't see what country you're from. I just see humans, and I'm grateful to work with everybody, especially with any culture, right? I think that's soccer, right? When you step in the field. When I was a player, I played with a million nationalities, right? From all around the world. So I always feel like there was no difference, and I think that's the beauty of soccer, right? Because when you're in the field, like you became one, right? Like there's not a color, there's nothing, man. And I think that's just the beauty of soccer. And to me, the brand is the same, right? I mean, if people see it as we're a South American brand, or a Latin brand, or whatever the case may be, they might be wrong, right? Because we are brand for everybody. So our market is obviously the US mostly, and the teams. We just want to get the teams that want to be serious, that want to look professional, right? That have a squad that play a big tournament. Now we do for quad ball, high ally. We also have a college. We do. People don't really know about it, but we do also baseball, volleyball, tennis. Like we do the whole apparel, right? Like we're becoming that big branch as well. We just don't promote it as much because obviously our main focus is soccer. That's like our hardcore, belief. But we do also have other sports, and yeah, penetrating the market. To me, I played the USL, right? Like I played USL Championship, USL One, and I always loved the league. I always was very passionate about it. The teams, the stadiums. I guess I was in the stage where it was developing, not what it is today, which is becoming like really crazy good. But to be in this market, to be in from the USL two to like now the big leagues is something that, man, I wake up every day. I'm like, what are we gonna create, right? What are we gonna do with these teams? It's just pretty cool, man. And I guess my knowledge of soccer and the marketing and the brand awareness, bringing it to the teams, it has cultivated a great relationship with each team, right? Because sometimes you get owners, you get people, corporate, when that they don't really know a lot about soccer, right? So
Yeah.
they need that guy, right? They need that presence. They need somebody that kind of says like, hey, you could do this, right? You could do a reveal kit like this. You could do something like this. And I think we have established that in the market, and people just loving them, and they've been very grateful, and they just love the Diaza mentality.
Hmm. And that's definitely it's not I appreciate from you because, like you said earlier, you mentioned the word catalog. Because if you go with other companies, they're just going to mail you something like, all right, tell us what you want, we'll do it, or whatever, and it'll cost blah blah blah. But when you have somebody who comes in, sits down with you, it's like, hey, we got this marketing strategy, we got this kit design that we're going to develop around you and your team in your city or whatever you actually want. Like, as a fan, I appreciate that because then I know that you're connected to what I'm about. So that's just my 2 cents. I wanted to add in, not a question, but appreciation.
And yeah, that's the key point, right? That's exactly what we want everybody to feel, right? From the owners to the fans. It's crazy how a jersey can do that, right? A jersey can like identify from your club, your city, your culture, and we have discovered that with the brand. Because when I was a player, I wouldn't really think, oh, I would like to wear a nice jersey, right? Because I was fitted, like I wanted a nice, not a baggy jersey, which I play with many baggy jerseys, like all these stuff. And I was like, what is this, man? No, can I get a nice, nice uniform in this league?
Look, play good.
And it was tough, so that's why I also motivate me to create that product for for professionals, for something different that make you feel like, oh, I'm a pro. I want to wear this. And obviously the fans too, like be happy to wear all that stuff, and we love it, man. The feedback from Chicago House, it was crazy because they were kind of afraid to jump from Nike to Diaza. Peter Will, I talked to him, and he's like, I'm not sure if I want to make that move, but I'm gonna do it because I mean the designs that we put together with them, it was very nice, and everybody's reaction was like, why didn't you guys have this before? Like this is
Yeah.
just amazing kid, amazing jersey, and that just says it all, man. It's been a great experience for us.
Yeah.
Something that we always or that I started talking about a little bit after I kind of saw it firsthand was when my club Birmingham Legion went over to Hummel, right? There was a lot of comments when it was just announced that they were going to Hummel, right? They were like, we like Nike. Like
Yeah.
we do Nike, right? And it's like you mentioned the old brands, the ones that have been here the longest, the ones that fans recognize. At the surface level, fans might say, I'm comfortable with Nike. I know the way it fits on me. I'm comfortable with Adidas. I know the way it fits on me. I'm comfortable with Puma, et cetera, et cetera. That they just kind of know that I'm a Nike guy or a Nike girl. And then they saw the custom jerseys and they're like, yo, these are cool. Like these are different. These are custom. When you have that moment, when you're talking to someone like, I don't know, because there is admittedly, while a super high price point for maybe something not customized, there is a safety net with those old companies because everybody knows them and people are willing to buy it. How do you convince somebody, whether it be an academy club or it be a professional club, to say, hey, no, you want to take this leap of faith? I promise that your people are going to like this.
So you want me to do my pitch right here with you?
Right here.
Yeah, why
Sell
not?
us.
Let's do it.
I know, right? No. Basically, it works because I know the game, right? I know exactly what Nike is gonna put in the table. From a business perspective, and let's say you have Nike in the table, right? And I'm gonna tell you, listen, you're a pro team. Nike is gonna give you this credit, but then you have to buy and buy from Nike $90,000, from gear. You're gonna get this much gear, but then you gotta buy from them $90,000 of this gear, right? There's not customized. There's all catalog. There's all plain and simple. And my man, those days are old. Those days are over. Now people want to see, something nice, something, customized. Quality wise is very important. And we also have, we like I say, we always work in the quality. To me, that's very important. The
Hmm.
quality product has to be right there, right? Because that's the only way I can compete with Adidas. Because I could have a nice sublimated jersey, but when they compare the two, I'm like, nah. I mean, this is it looks cool, but you know what? I'm gonna go with Nike because the quality is there,
Yeah.
and I respect that. But when you compare the two, and you're like, listen, this quality I mean, it's almost the same as this one. I mean, and he has a nice design, and they offer me a lot more credit, and they offer me, in a business perspective, royalties and a whole new deal that Nike is not offering to the lower leagues. Why should I not go with somebody that's bringing me even more revenue to the club? Doing all these things to me. Is that kind of stuff that as a business owner you got to think about it, right? Because when you own a business and the soccer team is a business, you got to think numbers. And if I bring the right numbers, you might consider Diaza because they're bringing you good numbers, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And instead of Nike, that yeah, Nike, yeah, we know Nike who it is, but they're not gonna give me customized. They're not gonna give me the numbers that I want. So I had to make a decision right there. And then it comes the other guys, right? Because there's other brands that obviously do the same thing. Um, but I think with the older brands, there's a problem and there's an issue right now, which is people do not deal straight with the brands, right? You will never find a team deal straight with Nike. They don't have the time, they don't have the people. They only deal with Nike through a retail store, right?
Hmm.
Soccer.com to this, to the store from the town, blah, blah, blah. What does that mean? That now you have three people involved. And if you have three people involved, at least two need to make money. And that's the brand and the third party and the retail store.
The supplier, yeah.
So that left the club without nothing, or with jackets for the coaches, or this much credit so you can spend on us as well. Like all that kind of deal that is the same thing for years. So now we come here and I tell you, listen, the money that this guy was making, I'm gonna give it back to the club. What are you gonna say? What? And you giving me and you giving me customized, and you
Yep.
do the tracksuits, and you do this and you do that, and the sponsorship and marketing, and so I knew how to enter the market. I knew where was the problems, the issues, and I still know even more in the future how we can even put this page a little bit more better. But that's the game. That's how I play the game.
That was a
I
good
want
elevator
to
pitch. Yeah.
I want to shout out what Smith Video Productions put in the chat.
Yeah.
You, we talked about this one. I think Chris and I might have talked, or maybe it might have been you and I at one point on Twitter. But like asked like which Diaza kit is the one, and I don't have it on today. It is in the closet, but I have this one. I've never been to Durham. I own this kit. I love it. I mean, this is just a great kit. When you are something that Brett and Fox, when they were putting together their list of like things that make a good kit.
Quit.
Wow, easy for me to say. It is when putting it together is local. What are your ties to local?
Community.
You
Wow.
know, obviously a map is a great way to tell somebody what's local, right? I mean, it's right there. But I feel like this is a good example. A lot of your stuff has incredible tie-ins to local. How important is that to you to bring in the local flair? And how much leeway do clubs give you to go all the way in?
To me, and I want to give a huge shout out to my lead of design. His name is Christian Jamaica. um I think he's incredible, man. This is a talented guy. He comes with all these designs. He has a team of designers, so I know they always have meetings, and they talk about this, right? What is the what design are you gonna show me so I can present this thing, right? I want you to find out where they're from, something symbolic about the city. What is it that that the people like about this city, and what is it then we have a meeting with the club with just about brainstorming about the design. Like some clubs are very open to it, right? They come and tell you like, oh, I want this, or I like to see, the Chicago flag on it, or I like to see this, or I like to see that. So we gather all that information, and we always give them like 4 or 5 options, and maybe they like option A, and they want to combine with B, and that's how we get the final result. Some of the teams, they just say like, hey, create me whatever you can, and they will be impressed by the first thing that they see, because the work that we put is thoughtful. So and some other ones like to create their own. They just tell us like, hey, can we make the design, and you guys make it. We were doing that before a lot, but we stopped doing it because they will go to other brands and bring those designs to us, right? And it's pretty difficult for you to identify where these designs come from, right? So you will ask the owners, and some of them will say, "Oh no, we made it," and then like, "Oh no, this other brand made it." And to me, that's kind of disrespectful, because I know how hard the designers work, and how each brand or each customized kit people work, and it's very hard to put these designs for somebody else to make it. And it happened to a lot to us. These teams in Texas that used to call us, and bring the designs to other people, and when we saw in their social media, they were wearing our own designs. It got to the point where we were like, hey, like knocking the door, and like, hey, you guys are doing something that is not right, So
Yeah.
if you respect your work and you respect our work, just let's stay up, like, don't do that. And they react good. They didn't say anything. They say, oh yeah, you're right, blah blah blah. But it's that kind of stuff that you don't want to do, right? So we stopped doing that a little bit, and then we just get the feedback, right, and try to create our own, so we don't have this kind of conflict. But some teams, we would love to go all in and create this, and like something very different, but they very like, oh no, just go easy on this, go easy on that. We don't want to this year too much. We just want something simple, and something like that. I think that happens with us last year with Ann Arbor. I feel like the design wasn't really spectacular as we wanted it for last season, but this season it's gonna be. This season, I know you guys gonna like it. This season is gonna be good. I already saw the kid, and it's gonna be really good.
Got my eyes on you
Nice.
guys.
Right. All right. So I got the hard hitting question, and this is coming from a teacher and a father who hates hearing this question. But which one's your favorite? Which baby's the best?
For all the kids,
Yeah, all the kids that y'all have came out with. What's
I must say myself, and I'm gonna say the Ronaldinho one.
safe? Safe. It's a good answer. It's a great answer, but safe.
No, but I mean, design wise, to me, it's very hard to put it in there, because then you had to ask me like, what is it that makes it special, right? Is it the culture, or is it the lines? Is it this? Is it that? Is it the mean behind the jersey, and all that kind of stuff? I think one of the jerseys that I really like is the one Brian is wearing, because Ann Arbor, I really worked hand in hand with Bilal, one of the owners from the club, and he had a lot of meanings. The flags, the details that he put into it. It was very significant for them. So I really like when they work with us like that. So that one is special to me. Chicago House I really like a lot, because like I say, they went from Nike to us, and we were expecting something like, okay, like people might just take it the wrong way, or not too good, but it was the total opposite. People were like loving it, and
Yeah.
Chicago sold a lot of jerseys. They didn't sell it through us; they sold it themselves, but they were asking from us, a lot of jerseys for them. So this year's jersey is gonna be really good as well, man.
This is actually almost bought last year's Chicago House. Like
Same.
I never heard of Chicago House. I'll be completely
Oh,
honest. I never heard of Chicago House. Then all of a sudden, like my Twitter, I know. Wipe that face off, Kayla. I know. But like all of a sudden, like my Twitter just blew up last year. I'm like, that's a dope kit. Like we need to talk
yeah,
about it. So like,
yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I like the kid. There's some kids that we done that will be culture one. The culture is very nice. I like that one too.
Good.
It's a lot of teams. That
that's
one,
pretty
you
neat.
see, that was last year. So when it's something like you want to do more and this and that, you like, and they're like, no, we want a more serious looking this year, which you got to respect, right? Like you got to just go
Hmm.
with what they want to do for the year. So they want last year, they want to go a little bit more serious, in the field, and we kind of put it together. But then I think this year they're gonna really go up. They design a really nice kit, so it's gonna be good.
Tomas, hey, thanks for the love, Tomas. Western Mass legend over here. I mean, just great player, great guy. Let's get you signed to a League One team or a championship team, huh, big guy? Huh? Let's do it, dude. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Diego's been awesome to talk to. For people who are listening only, he said I don't really know Diego, but it's clear that he's a great professional. He works alongside Chris, which shout out Chris, by the way, who is a great friend. Great show tonight. Thank you so much, Tomas. But yeah. Yeah. If you haven't seen Thomas Dubin, I don't know what to tell you. This is not the USL show, but I'm just letting you know, like the dude is crazy and can put a ball on a platter. It's disgusting how good he is.
Nice, nice, yeah.
So I guess I actually you kind of led into a question that I have about certain teams because you'll come with teams that they have their. I mean, we talked about this before with Kayla and stuff like that. Like they have their thing,
Yeah.
they have the sash, they have something that's identifiable for them. Um, do you? I know you do what the team wants you to do. Have you ever tried to like get a team to like sway or like
Think about
be creative with the sash or whatever their thing is? Because like you said, like the last thing they wanted a more serious look, but then I see it, I'm like, hey, look, a black kit. So like,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know,
Nah, yeah, of course, we always present that, something that makes them different. We, the way we work is, if your team approaches, we will create a whole catalog for you, not just the jersey. We will, training gear, apparel gear, like the track suits, everything, So we will present this catalog to you, and then you start making decisions. Oh, I like A, I like B, I like C, right? In all these designs, there's always, the very cool ones, then the more serious ones, and then when he start picking, oh, I like A, right? So you're like, he likes more like a serious tone on the jersey, right? But we do ask him, like, listen, you've been with, and we analyze the team as well, right? We're not just working with a team just to work. We analyze who they work with before, right? What are the designs that they have for the past 3 years? Are they pretty cool? Are they crazy? Are they this? Are they that? Right?
right,
Have they done anything different? No, it's just the same stock for 3 years. Okay, so they need something now that is, pretty cool. So that's our recommendation to the people, right? Listen, and we tell them, listen, for the past 3 years, you've been wearing this other brand, right? And it's just a plain jersey. If you come out with a really cool kid, it's gonna be everybody's gonna talk about it. So now you get them thinking, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's show me what you got," And then we
yeah,
get to work, and that's how we do it with them.
love that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
challenging teams. Want teams to actually look good and present it to them. I kind of love that. And obviously, as kit raiders, we love that. So keep that up, I guess.
Because I mean, like, I'm just gonna be completely honest. Like, I'm not gonna buy the black AFC Ann Arbor jersey because I'm not a fan of the team. The fans should buy it. It's a nice looking kit, so the fans should buy it. But like, as a kit collector and fashion snob or whatever, I'm not gonna buy it. But like, I will buy the one Brett's wearing. Like the one Brett's wearing is
Yeah.
sick.
Mhm.
It's a fun design. It's got the collar. It has everything that I'm looking for.
It has a bunch of little, I don't know if you can see it, a bunch of little trees also decorated throughout. So
Right.
fun detail.
So like sometimes I try as a buyer. I'm trying to weigh like, okay, do I care about the team? No. Is it a sick kit? So I feel like it's always that hard juggle to do.
Yeah.
That's actually that was actually something I was going to ask. Was weighing up fans versus kit collectors
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
we're two different.
because they are different people. I am someone, and we've talked about this on the show a lot. If something has a collar on it, I blindly buy. I am a simple person. If there's a collar, I buy it blindly. But also, if you're a fan of a soccer team down in like Miami or Tampa Bay or Birmingham, where it's 1,000 degrees all the time, and you don't really collect kits, you don't want to wear a collar to a match, and neither do the players. How do you balance the people who are into kits and also just the fans who are going to be the bigger buyers, I suppose?
I believe that's when we study the team, right? When you study the market, like what is it that where the team is from, right? And what kind of following does the team have, right? And then if it's a team that is recognized a lot in the US, then you got to think about more people, right? Like, hey, you're from Miami, but you got a big following. Let's do something creative where everybody can just come and wear it, right? Or people like you guys that love design, love to see something different, because your team plays an important league or make it to the final all the time. We suggest that you create this so everybody, since you're gonna be in there, over there in the national finals or whatever the case may be, now you can see more, more eyes are going to be on you, and you can get some revenue, or people from you don't even know where they're going to start buying your stuff, and it's a decision from the team as well, right? If they care about their fans and about their brand, they will say, okay, let's do it. If they don't really care about it, and some people don't, like they think they know their way, they just be like, no, I just need jerseys for my team or whatever the case may be, right? So we kind of come in and kind of like, hey, look, is this world this big, right? And you're seeing it this little. So you want to see it this big? And some people just go like, okay, let's do it. Some others they don't really go for it, but we will still obviously work with them. And just like you say, you didn't even know Chicago House, right?
Yeah.
And maybe if they didn't work with Diaza, you wouldn't even know still, because they still be wearing Nike, which is a plain jersey.
Yeah.
And since they got this cool jersey, a lot more people start seeing it, right? And it appeals you to like, oh, maybe I buy it because it looks so cool and it's different, and all that kind of stuff. So the design is very important.
Yeah, I agree. Like I have a USL League Two team right down the road from me, and like I follow them to an extent. USL League Two is kind of hard to follow because there's like 8 million teams, but I follow them and I try to pay attention. But like I'm not going to buy the kit because it's a kit that starts with a P, and it's just a plain kit. I don't try to diss other brand names, but
And
it
I
has
get
a wild cat on it. But like it's a t-shirt, and I don't want to pay $70-$80 for a plain black t-shirt or a plain wine red t-shirt. So like I feel like they would be perfect for you. Like, and I'm around the St. Louis area. We have an MLS market as well.
Mhm.
So I could see them being that team that's like, we're not going to try to compete with the MLS side. But I feel like on the other hand, like Chicago, there's like 14 different teams in Chicago by itself.
Mhm.
But they have an MLS side that people know about. But now all of a sudden people know about Chicago House and are buying their kits who don't know about them, who don't follow them. I feel like that USL League Two team could be getting extra revenue by not being stuck in this big kit, comfortable, you know, your safety net per se.
Yeah, I feel like it's a comfort zone, right? It's just when you just feel secure with this retail brand because you don't know anything else, right? When somebody
Yeah,
comes to you and give you more options, and that also becomes an issue because you we have clubs that they work, and especially youth clubs. We have a lot of youth clubs. They work so many years with the catalog ones and the older brands and all that. That when you tell them, hey, you could create your own, like let's create your own, and they're like, what do you mean? Wait, you mean like put something here? And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can definitely put something here. They're like, wait. So you telling me that I could change the colors? I'm like, yes, you could do it. And they even get surprised by it, and then it's like, oh wow, like I didn't even know you guys work like that and this stuff. And we also creating this studio in here in New York where people can come in and we just appoint one designer and create their own right there live. Like they can start doing like their own stuff and all that kind of stuff.
That's sick.
Do we
And
need a
it's
trip to New York now, Fox?
Yeah,
New
yeah,
York?
field trip. How do you feel about feathers?
Don't
Feather-
answer the question.
feathers
Don't
are
do it.
feathers are they're here and they're the next blackout kit. They're the
they,
next map kit. Feathers are the next map kit. I'm
Uh,
telling you.
I have one last question for you. It's not about feathers, so ignore Fox here. So one of which I've asked everyone is kind of it's just have an opinion piece. Honestly, is kind of about national team kits. I know Colombia's kind of had some fun ones, especially the women's World Cup. They had a really nice one. Honestly, it looked really good.
Oh yeah,
Um,
top 5
it
choice.
yes, is kind of are they kind of boring or like kind of incorporate a whole country? Like just a little bit of opinion on kind of national team kits and kind of that.
I think with the national teams, you is a representation of your country, right? And that means politics. That means cultural decisions. That means sponsors. That means a lot. It's a total different game to me, right? It's something that if you put the wrong color, the wrong image in a jersey, it could be offensive to the whole country.
Yeah.
So I think that's why brands and the designers, because obviously these teams have designers as well. They play really. They are very careful with what they put in the jersey. Because it's a lot more, like I say, political and this and that, and it's pretty tough to create something that symbolize a whole culture, right? Because I mean, just in Colombia, yeah, it's a country, but it has, let's say, 50 cities, right? Each city, it has a different meaning. They have a different accent. They have a different cultural just within Colombia. So if you put the I remember they wanted to put something that is called sombrero volteado, which is this little hat that it symbolized Colombia, right?
Yeah.
Symbolize Colombia, but not really. It symbolized one city from Colombia, which is Barranquilla, right? So the people from the capital, the people from Medellin, they were like, "Why are you guys putting that there? That's not from Colombia. That's just from from over there, the beach, from the people from there, like." And it was this controversial that they had to took it off. So it's all these kind of like political stuff and becomes cultural with the whole country. So I think that's why they're always careful with that. And also, you're in a national team, you want to look serious, you want to look, not that it takes away from not looking serious, having a cool, nice design, right? But I guess that's the perspective that these people been running the game for the longest, and they come from that, right? You don't see Diego Hurtado running a national team because it's just old people from back in the day, years of doing that, because if I run the national team, it will be different. So
So what you're
I
saying
think
is that they are boring. Just
uh,
long-winded answer, right?
They're safe. They're safe
Yeah,
because
safe.
of great reasons.
yeah, exactly. They say some of them are. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The women's World Cup, oof, there's some jerseys, very nice jerseys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need
I
that
think
one, honestly.
Adidas. I know they've. I feel like they did step up and tried to represent the countries
Yeah,
as much as
exactly. And it's good. I think these older brands are detecting that, right? Like, oh,
yeah.
you got to do something because there's people behind those that. I mean, not that we. I mean, obviously, I aspire to get to that level, but it's gonna take years, right? But they're gonna be like, oh, there's other people doing, because they say brands like Macron, Kappa, they come from great designs, great quality, and
Hmm.
I'm respectfully, I admire their work, and when you have these brands, knocking the door. Castore is a brand that is like bringing something different. So from England, so these big brands are like, we might do shift it a little bit and put some designs on it. They probably just do it for a while and then go back to the plain jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like I feel like that's kind of what happened with the USA jerseys. We had the denim kit and we had the bomb pops and we had some fun kits, but like, well, let's be honest about the denim kit. During the time, the players hated it, the fans didn't really like it. It honestly was a meh look until
Still is.
recently,
Still
and
is.
now everyone's like, oh, it's retro, and it's this like nostalgic vibe to it that's making people want the denim kit again. But like, it wasn't professional. Like people thought we looked silly.
yeah.
People were disrespecting America because of the denim kit. I don't think people crapped on the bomb pop, but it's just a fun kit. I don't like it.
What happens too that the older brands, as we calling them, they bring a lot of technology in the jersey, right? They
Mhm.
bring a lot of new fabrics that are very hard to sublimate or create their own design onto this fabric, because it has so many like jaguar fabrics and the layers and the sewing and the stitching is kind of difficult to put this together if you want to put a design with like and a sleeve and put it in the jersey. So that's what I kind of like we saw with the last collection of the Nike patterns, because they're very hard to kind of like stick to each other with a design. And I think that happens a lot, right? And the technology that they use, they just come in one tone fabric. They don't sublimate that kind of fabric. So it's harder to obviously create something different for it.
Diego, I have a couple more questions for you before we kind of wrap it up for the night. First one is the stuff I'm sharing on the screen. I was lucky enough to be a part of the protagonist top 23 of 2023. And I
Brag.
think yeah, I think two of the Diaza kits made the top 23, but I think we had to rank, I think I had 4 or 5 of them, and they were hard. They were hard to pick through, and 2 of them end up in the top 23. Um, getting recognition like that, yeah, from protagonists, which is very well respected around, especially lower leagues of the US. Getting that kind of recognition, and not just from 1, 2 people, but from wide panelists too. Their whole thing is, looking at kits and appreciating like what's going around around the areas, and it's not just from the USLs or your NPSLs, but across all lower leagues.
Yeah. I mean, to us is always an honor to be in this pose. To I know the work the protagonist been putting out there. I follow it. It is like I was before in Twitter a lot, not too much right now. But Chris is all over the place. So
Yeah.
Chris, Chris always tells me, hey Diego, look, they put in our jerseys out there, and I'm always being very grateful. I even think they contact us a few times. I know they want to run some kind of like interview or something like that. We haven't got the chance yet, but I think what they're doing right there, and obviously recognizing our work is always valuable to us. And just by them, I listen to a podcast sometimes, and it's what they putting out there is just crazy, man. Because there's not many people like us, right, that follow all these leagues and that are entertained by these leagues and all that kind of stuff. I'm glad that there's people like that, and obviously being in their polls and when they talk about us is always a good thing for us. It's amazing that they see our work, and we're always happy to be there with them.
Yes, by the way, we keep mentioning Chris. You know, uh USL Desde Argentina. He's he's been around everywhere. Chris Kaufman. Love that guy.
I know,
Uh he's everywhere.
everywhere.
Everywhere. Um, but kind of a last little thing for you, and I know you can't say who. I get it, and we can't go through detail, but you got fun stuff on the horizon. coming to Division 2 and a Division 1 in the near future. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we've been blessed enough, and I think hard work and everything that we've been talking about is kind of paying off right now. I think people do see it different, the not just for the kids and everything, but for the business plans for everything that we have built, within the brand, and they noticing, right, and now we got the chance to sign with this USL Championship team and USL One Super. So you guys are gonna see a lot of fun over there. I know you guys are gonna love it, and now, man, that's just great. It could be. Right now we're sitting in the table with three more. So I mean, it could be it could be four, it could be one, it could be two. You never
Are
know. So,
any of them in Kentucky?
could be,
Okay. No,
could be. It could be, man. No, but obviously, when we sign the papers and everything, because everything right now is, verbal agreements. Obviously, we cannot disclose, but you guys will be the first ones to know. So,
Ooh,
the man.
forward to that.
Or the first one to mail to.
and you guys will have a free jersey from my part. I'll send it to you right away.
Appreciate you.
Oh, dude.
Appreciate you, Diego.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Listen, we have gone for an hour and it has been an absolute blast. Does not feel like it's been that long. Maybe to you because you have to talk to me, but not to me. But listen, Diego, we cannot thank you enough for hopping on. Is there anything, one last little thing before we hop off that you want to just kind of share with the folks, or anything along the way?
No, man. I mean, obviously, I just want to say thank you again, for having me in your show. I think what you guys are doing are great. Talking about this is very fun to me always. I think creating Diaza is been amazing to me, right? It's not a one day that I feel like I'm working. It's always, like talking about soccer, talking about my story, about Diaza's story. It's just I've been blessed to do this, and I just want to keep growing and growing. And to people out there, man, it's just that, like, the other mentality, right? You can keep going. You can basically build something and be successful at it if you really wanted to. I come from a place that it was very hard, growing up, and I didn't even speak English at that time. I know I have a strong accent and all that kind of stuff, but I just keep going, man. Keep going, keep learning, always putting myself out there, being the best of my version, and just becoming better and better, man. And I think that's a reflection of the brand as well, right? Like how we have, like, step by step growing and growing. And I think the next years are gonna be just huge for us, and I'm thankful for everybody that support us, guys like you, and obviously all the teams, all the owners that I have personally relationships with. It's been a blessing for me, man. So I just want to thank you, everybody, and thank you guys for having me here.
Hey, well, we appreciate your work. I love it.
Yeah.
So keep up through the work, and we love having you here as well. So
The work definitely speaks the
Thank you.
volumes.
good quality. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go show some love, by the way, to Diego. D_10, because believe it or not, he did mention the footy pass. We didn't have the time to talk about your collegiate career, but maybe next time. D_10 Hurtado on Twitter. And then Chris Goffman, man, dude, thank you so much. USL desde Argentina, thank you so much. So much for setting this up. And look, next week we're back to rating kits. Might have some fun stuff on the way for the rating stuff.
Maybe a guest.
And we're always having guests. Thank you all so much for listening. And hey, it's been another episode of Kid Season. Next week, same time, be in the chat. Let's make it fun.
Night,
Bye.
everyone.
Guys, thank you, guys. Thank you, bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching another episode of the USL Show.
The USL Show is now proudly part of the Protagonist podcast family. Please go to protagonistsoccer.com to check out more work. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see everyone again next time.